You think that anything that I do right now, even on YouTube, is to play the game for what happens tomorrow? It's to play the game for what happens forever. Forever. You think that me and JR and the Lapeef Network and its current version of what it is today, which is 10 times different than where we started at. If you look at the growth and the innovation and the things that we're doing over on the Lapeef Network, you think we plan for today or tomorrow? Do you know what our long-term strategy is for the Lapeef Network? Think about that junk, bro. We are playing for forever. We changed the name from Lapeef Tech, Let's Talk to the Lapeef Network a long time ago, and we never even announced it. Just think about it. That's all I'm going to say. I thought that this article was absolutely awesome. Listen, the last article that we talked about, they was giving y'all some bad financial advice, and I had to clean that up. I'm cleaning up the streets. This article, I thought that it was absolutely phenomenal, and I just want to go over it with you guys really quickly because I want to get you started on your day, started on your week. It's Sunday, and Sunday is actually the first day of the week, and so I want to pour into you with this article, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Jeff Bezos made decisions at Amazon based on these 5 key rules. These 5 key rules. I personally applied this to my life, and so I want to go over them with you so that you can make the best decisions possible, okay? 5 key rules. All right. Obviously, we know we led Amazon to mammoth success using a particular set of principles when he needed to make important decisions for the company. Do y'all see how we tie in all of this in, y'all? Do you see how we tie in all of this in? We went to delayed gratification. We went over the great resignation and people walking away from their companies. Then we went into the things that you need to do. The things that you need to do and how it is that you need to operate when it comes to considering quitting your job. The mentality that you needed in order to be successful. How it is that I applied these things earlier in my life and why I'm telling you what I'm telling you. And now I'm giving you another avenue or another set of principles for you to be able to leverage your lifestyle or leverage the way in which you think in order to improve your business acumen and the ways in which you make decisions on a daily basis. Fred Beats says, I needed this today. I will continue to stay down until I come all the way up. Stay down until you come all the way up, family. All right, so let's go ahead and close this out with a great set of things that I've learned as a result of studying this article, and I'm applying this to my life, okay? The principles were discussed in a new book, Flywheels, How Cities Are Creating Their Own Futures by Tom Alberg, a former board member at Amazon. So this guy is a former board member at Amazon, which means that he's had a level of insight into Jeff Bezos that's allowed him to be able to learn certain things that Jeff Bezos did in order to be successful. Okay. Alberg, now a managing director at Madrona Venture Group, a Seattle-based venture firm he founded, was an early investor in Amazon. So he's found significant success rocking with these principles. Ingrid says, Ingrid sent me a super sticker for $9.99. Thank you, Ingrid. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you. I appreciate you, love. All right. Back in 2019, Albert said nobody wanted to invest in the company's first funding round because they expected that what was then a fledgling online book startup to be murdered by Barnes and Nobles. So nobody wanted to invest in Amazon. This is in 2019 that he was saying that nobody wanted to invest in Amazon a long time ago. All right. Let's continue. Bezos ultimately convinced Alberg to invest because he had a thorough, focused business plan and strong initial results. So the company had already been launched and Bezos was already sticking to this phenomenal business plan, okay? Bezos ultimately convinced him now it's $1 trillion company and he's often asked, why is Amazon so successful? Now, people were predicting the demise of this book company called Amazon that was being ran by this nerd named Jeff Bezos. Now I'm reading this book on a regular basis. Now I'm studying the book on a regular basis. We trying to understand what he doing differently. All right. Drawing on his experience of watching a tech mogul make decisions, he set out to explain the principles Bezos stuck to at work. The most important is customer obsession. All right. Principle 1, customer obsession. He added that, according to Bezos, too many companies focus on their competitors as opposed to their customers. And we are all guilty of it. I've been guilty of it on this platform, right? I've spent time focusing on dusties or people that can't add value to the conversations. I've spent too much time entertaining trolls and all of this other foolishness instead of spending more time pouring into my tribe, which is you guys and my Patreon members. Which is one of the reasons why I'm spending more time doing investment pitches, funding y'all businesses now, doing Patreon exclusive meetups. We need to spend more time focused on the customers instead of your competitors. All right? And he breaks it down. As Bezos explained to a congressional committee, customers are always beautifully, wonderfully dissatisfied, which means that y'all can't never get enough. No matter how many of y'all I add to the seat at the table, no matter how much I call y'all never going to be able to get enough. Anton, I want more of you. I want you live streaming for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I want to look into your life. No, I'm just messing with y'all. A constant desire to delight customers drives us to constantly invent on their behalf. Bezos sometimes made decisions that can harm Amazon's bottom line, but benefit the customer, meaning that he was more willing to pour into the customer first than focused on how much money he can make from them, which is one of the things that I've had so much pushback against when I say, yo, let's figure out how we can add value. And if we have such a great product, then let's figure out how we can give it away for free. And then people push back and say, but no, this is how much I feel like my time is worth. Okay. Let's see how much the customers feel like your time is worth. The second principle is constant invention and innovation. Constant invention and innovation. All right. Invention is closely related to customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction and innovation are powerful touchstones when making decisions. Constant invention and innovation. You know why I don't care if anybody steal my ideas, and they do. You know the thing that we see, and y'all see it all the time. Lapeef Network is such a lightning rod on being a pioneer and bringing people into visibility and to the forefront and voices and reinventing, and we continue to do things. You know why I don't care? Because we're constantly inventing and innovating in the space. We building a whole network. We're not concerned about what other people's voices are and doing and anything like that. I can't even keep my camera angles the same because I'm so busy buying new mics, focusing on how I can add value to y'all, coming up with new ideas on how it is that I can pour into my Patreon members. That link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. New video ideas, things that I can expound on things that I've been studying for the last 3 or 4 months, such as NFTs. I invest in it, I do it, and then I start to give you the game on how it is that you can do it too. I'm constantly focused on invention and innovation. I want to transform what it means to have a person pouring into you. Okay? Making decisions is much easier when you ask, what is the best decision for the customer? What's the best decision for the customer? And is there a way to invent our way to the solution? The third principle championed by Bezos is operational excellence. Some examples include, and I thought that this was really awesome, 2 pizza teams, one-click shopping, single-threaded leaders, and working backward. Now, some of this is self-explanatory, such as one-click shopping, which means from a UX perspective, which is the thing that I'm an expert in, We're always trying to figure out how we can make it much easier for you to be able to do whatever it is that you need to do. A lot of people were thrown off by, thank you for the cash apps too. I appreciate y'all. A lot of people were thrown off that when they downloaded the new update for their Apple device, they found that when they went on Safari, that the address bar was now on the bottom of the screen instead of at the top of the screen. I remember at a time that when people started getting rid of hamburger menus, that's when you want a specific site or an application and you want to expand the menu and you press it at the top, at the very top in the upper left-hand corner, right? And then it opened up a bigger menu. Now what's normal in the industry when you're using an application or you're using some kind of mobile site or something like that, is this something similar to Instagram, to where the actual navigation menu is at the very bottom of the screen where your thumb is more likely to be. They're making it easier and reinventing without you even knowing it, because nobody even knows what they need until they need it, but they study the patterns. They study how you interact with things. They know that when you drive up, McDonald's is much easier for them to reinvent the drive-thru and have two places where they can take orders, right? And then have you come through and combine back in, and then they solve for being able to get more people through the drive-thru much faster by having two drive-thru windows and two. But like, for example, let's bring it back. So some of this is self-explanatory, like one-click shopping and working backwards, right? We know what the solution is. We know what we want people to do. And now we have to work backwards to figure out how it is that we can empower them and give it to them, right? But like the two pizza teams, right? A lot of y'all like to do a lot of meetings. Even when I do my mastermind sessions, I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I want to use this particular software or this particular software? The two pizza rule is one of Bezos' more creative strategies, which is aimed at not losing an entire day to unnecessary meetings. I'm very careful about the meetings that I take at work. One of the things that somebody asked me in a pre-live stream Patreon is how it is that they can manage two jobs. I gave them the blueprint on how it is that they block off their calendar from not having to take unnecessary meetings in order to be able to solve for and do certain things that they need to do at this other job and not have overlapping meetings. Okay? It's potentially a key to the founder's success. So how does it work? The more people you pack into a meeting, the less productive the meeting will likely be. Which means you don't need a whole lot of people there just to get something done. You need who you need. The idea is that most people will end up agreeing with each other rather than voicing their own opinions and ideas. The solution: never have a meeting where two pizzas couldn't feed the entire group. I took that. I'm never, ever going to have a meeting where two pizzas can't feed the entire group. Hey, for those of y'all that was at the... For those of y'all that were at the Patreon exclusive meetup that we had in Miami and we had these deep dives, you know I was talking my talk, right? I gave you a whole blueprint on why I do things differently than some content creators, why I need a number to be at a certain thing. I gave y'all so much game. And then when I order food... For some of y'all that wasn't paying attention, for those of you there, you know, but we gonna get there. Ray said the same applies for the study group. All right, let's continue. Let's get through this. Thinking long term. Do I not tell y'all this every single day? Thinking long-term underscores the fourth principle for Bezos' decision-making process at Amazon. That can range from launching a new business or investing in new technologies. One example, Alberg notes, is Bezos' early adoption of AI. When businesses were just beginning to recognize the possibilities of machine learning and AI, Jeff told the board that he intended to use AI in every part of the business. Bezos then began to hire AI experts and train his existing engineers to use it. Amazon is ahead of the curve. Everything is based off of innovation and invention. They are very much the pioneer in cloud computing services. They are very much the pioneer in cloud computing services. But the key is not necessarily just getting ahead. The key is looking at everything from a long-term perspective. I tell you this when it comes to your marriages. I tell you this when it comes to your money. I tell you this when it comes to your investments, and so you're not gambling. I tell you this when it comes to looking at the information that you're taking in. I even talked to you about it in the very beginning of this live stream, and I gave you the breakdown on how it is that you need to go about doing things from a long-term perspective so you can live the rest of your life thriving. Amazon subsequently created and made AI tools available to customers on Amazon Web Services. Think about it, y'all. Break it down. Y'all thought Amazon Echo, y'all thought Siri was Apple's way to give you more informed directions to get to where you got to go and to lessen your life when it came to having to pick up your phone and do stuff. You didn't even know that Siri was machine learning. You didn't know that Siri was an... We'll continue. That's too much. Fifth principle, and perhaps the overriding one, is his abiding optimism of the future and how we are only in day one. Day one philosophy is based on the broader idea that although the internet and Amazon may seem mature in successive phases to many, Bezos believe we are still at the beginning. It's the same mentality that come along with Mark Zuckerberg, right? He's telling y'all, look, we've been working on Oculus. We've been taking in consideration machine learning, artificial intelligence, all of this other type of stuff. But the metaverse is coming and we've been working on it for a very long time. Any company that releases information and new products today has already been working on it for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. The cars that you are driving today, the ones that just got released that you buying off the lot today, the things that you looking at on a debut when they go into the auto show and a Milan and all of this, man, they've been working on those cars for the last 4 or 5 years. They've been testing these cars and inventing and trying to predict the future for the last 5, 6 years. Every single thing that's happening with every innovative company is being played out based off of what the 10-year, 20-year, 30-year view of what the company is. Steve Ballmer from Microsoft, the former Microsoft executive that replaced Bill Gates, and now the executive that's at Microsoft today. Steve Ballmer get a lot of the blowback from their mobile strategy and all of that. But what Steve Ballmer don't get a lot of credit for and why he was able to buy the Clippers is because he was the one that pioneered and capitalized and championed the idea behind Xbox, which is going to be one of the leading innovators when it comes to the metaverse. He was the one that advocated for cloud infrastructure, which is one of the most profitable divisions in Microsoft today. Y'all not paying attention. You're so busy paying attention to the things that you don't like about people instead of highlighting the things that make people awesome. One of the things that I just told y'all, RC, I said, listen, y'all was so caught up on the fact that RC last night and the conversations that he was having with y'all about women, I was paying attention to what RC was talking about his 2 to 3, 4, 5 year plan was in his business. I made a mental note and I said, listen, let me make sure I tap in with RC. He is in Detroit and we're going to be kicking it. You think that anything that I do right now, even on YouTube, is to play the game for what happens tomorrow? It's to play the game for what happens forever. Forever. You think that me and JR and the Lapeef Network and its current version of what it is today, which is 10 times different than where we started at. If you look at the growth and the innovation and the things that we're doing over on the Lapeef Network, you think we plan for today or tomorrow? Do you know what our long-term strategy is for the Lapeef Network? Think about that junk, bro. We are playing for forever. We changed the name from Lapeef Tech, Let's Talk, to the Lapeef Network a long time ago and we never even announced it. Just think about it. That's all I'm going to say.